I've actually spent a lot more time and effort on Blink-155 than I have on my actual band, at least in the last, 2 months, 3 months that we've been doing this.
It's been a long time. Put more into this than everything, really.
We're technically recording this while you are being paid to do your real job.
No, I'm off the clock as of a couple minutes. I'm off the clock.
I don't think James Keast or Ian Danzig from Exclaim Magazine, the publication that employs you, are listening to this podcast.
I don't think so, but they should.
Yeah.
It's all I ever talk about.
Yeah, you want them to respect what you're doing, but also not to be too much up in your business, so that they know what you're doing when they're paying you to do work for them.
Well, if anything, it gives me the leg up for any breaking Blink news that happens that I can post on Exclaim. Although I feel like since we've started this, there hasn't been a true Blink-182 bombshell that's come out. There's been little things here and there, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Blink-182 is afraid now to do anything too newsworthy because they know we're watching them.
That's true. They're under the microscope in a way they probably haven't been, since the 90s, and that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like you've caught some sort of plague.
Yeah, I've caught dysentery. No, it's too early.
Too early for that. And also, I don't even really get what that is still.
I think it's just diarrhea, right?
I mean, who doesn't have that then?
You strike me as the kind of guy, based on earlier episodes where you admitted to having serious scalp problems because you don't, you've never washed your hair.
I've started washing my hair actually since then. There's been an update.
Oh, okay. Well, we got to save that for a Exclusive, where we do an update to the Apple shampoo episode in which you tell everyone about your new hygiene.
All about my body.
So that's exclusive to your wife, Josiah, and I think you need to respect that pact.
I think. Well, actually, we'll finish what you were saying later because I may or may not have a little anecdote suited for this episode.
Oh, how exciting! An anecdote, finally.
So you're sick right now.
I'm sick. I think I was starting to say that you strike me as potentially the kind of person that always has diarrhea, and I realized that was rude, but maybe fair. And so I guess I'm trying to ask you about just how things are going internally, and then I guess externally.
Yeah, I mean that used to be the case when I used to eat a lot more junk food than I do now. I've kind of turned into a healthy bougie boy, especially this week in that I've moved into a fancy condo.
That's true. Yeah, you fully sold out. You took the Patreon money and you ran.
Yeah, I mean that's the nice thing about living in a city that's going through a recession is that for the price of what I could probably get a 10 square foot piss shack in Toronto. In Calgary, for that same amount of money, you can get apparently a very fancy loft apartment with, I would say, 20 to 30 foot ceilings and 2 bathrooms. So if I did have diarrhea again, it would be fine. No one would even know. But luckily, I've started taking probiotics, so it's fine.
And you're now recording this from your office. You have an office now specifically dedicated to this podcast.
I have an office with a closed door.
And yet you still wanted to record before Sarah got home.
Yeah, because I feel like when I start talking about Blink-182, my voice gets really loud and booming and just reverberates through the whole house.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. That's thoughtful.
But so let's talk about your sickness, because I think that we're kind of hovering around going back to the down episode. We have to talk about our ailments a little bit. Yeah,
so I'm ailing, man. As we discussed on the last episode, I was at a music festival in America, so that entailed a flight, and planes are just tubes full of other people's germs. I've been traveling down to LA a little bit, as we know from our On Location California episode. And so I've just been in these disease-ridden metal cylinders for the last 2 months. And so it finally caught up to me. And
did you say disease-ridden cylinder?
I did. That's tight. So yeah, I'm coughing, I'm hacking. We were supposed to record yesterday, and I said every time I laugh, I cough. It's still a problem, but obviously we're dedicated to the pod.
I'll try not to make you laugh.
If you can do your best to just do the usual Josiah thing. I think we should be fine.
Well, along those lines, I have a new wound.
Wound checks. What's your new wound from?
So while I was moving, I very stubbornly tried to stuff a bunch of garbage into a garbage can that was clearly full at my old house. And a very stained Chemex glass coffee maker was in the bag I didn't want to throw out because I was like, whatever, it's stained, but it still just tastes like old coffee. It's fine. But it shattered and slit my wrist open and was spurting blood everywhere. So I don't know. I haven't gone to the doctor or anything, but it was like so deep at the time. It kind of looked like I could see down to the bone.
Oh.
But it stopped bleeding and it's scabbing over. It just hurts a lot when I touch it. But we'll see. I'm gonna wait a little while. See where this wound goes. Okay. I kind of like that I have a wound on each arm now.
So this is on the opposite arm to the original down wound.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the Dysentery Gary wound.
Well, at least neither of us actually have dysentery.
Gary.
So, Josiah, I won't put this part in the podcast. This is just between you and I. Are you self-harming? Is this whole coffee story like a way of deflecting from
It does
your
almost
problems?
it does almost look like that, but it's actually not a very long slash. It's really tiny. It's just deep. I don't know if I like based on the literature and media that I've seen about self-harming, I think I did a very bad job of it with this particular cut.
So you'd say you're less committed to that than you are to this podcast, obviously.
I mean, this is just a different form of self-harming.
So Dysentery Gary is an interesting one to me because...
And you picked it. This is your choice.
This was my choice, and I honestly couldn't tell you why, except that I think whenever I don't have a really strong opinion one way or the other about what song we should pick, I have chosen the most juvenile title because that's what I'm entertained by. So that's why we did Benoit Balls so early. That's why we're doing Dysentery Gary. But to me, one of the most interesting things about this song is like Benoit Balls is a joke song about Benoit Balls. This is like, even though it has extremely juvenile elements, kind of like a pretty serious song that just has an inexplicably silly title. Like, it just seems weird that you would like write this whole song and then be like, it's called Dysentery Gary. Like, did you uncover why this song is called this in your, days and nights of research?
No, I didn't actually. But I think, well, where to start? First of all, I think it's insane to me that you think this is a kind of serious song. Like, that alone, I'm just like sitting here like, did I read the wrong lyrics?
I mean, it's okay. It's not like a Adam's song, which, by the way, when you listen to this song and then like it stops and then you get that do 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 right afterwards is
yeah.
a beautiful piece of just like tone deaf record sequencing.
Juxtaposition, yeah, it's beautiful.
Crazy. But it's like a serious kind of breakup song just sort of shrouded in a really sort of adolescent angst that is undeveloped, maybe, like from a
right.
emotionally intelligent perspective.
Well, I think that's what makes it maybe better than Benoit Balls. Like, Benoit Balls, when you read the lyrics, you're like, Benoit Balls seems like when you read like a limerick that's been written inside a bathroom stall, and this seems like maybe a little more like an Adam Sandler script. If we're using that, like, it's a little bit more developed, but still very dumb.
Okay, but the best Adam Sandler movies also have an element, like they do have an emotional core to them, right? So he's acting out, he's being perhaps foolish, but ultimately he just wants his father to love him, or
right. And yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. Like, it's sort of it's an Adam Sandler movie, really.
This is like full on the most maybe Adam Sandler song. And the other thing I realized, so one is that I was just wanted to do it because the title is stupid and it makes me chuckle because I'm a 32-year-old idiot. But
Not me.
yeah, no, you're much more smart. It's also kind of like basically a thesis statement for Blink on some level. Like listening to it, I was like, it's got a sick riff, it's got dog fucking, it's got a diarrhea joke, it has that sort of not even a bridge, but the part right before the final chorus where they do the kind of like "What's my age again" type kind of noodly stuff. Like it has every element that ultimately gets sort of broken apart and parsed out into other songs, but just smashed into one diarrhea joke.
Yeah, totally. Well, the thing is, I've thought a lot about Blink-182's like PG-13 sense of humor, obviously. But
I really thought that was just going to end with you saying, "I've thought a lot about Blink-182." I was like, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, no, clear. Yeah, okay.
What I was gonna say is, one day when I was pondering Blink-182 as I do, I realized that I've always thought of them as being like a fart. I always thought of the phrase fart jokes, but like then I realized that actually they're really mostly just dick jokes most of the time. Like Blink-182 don't really reference like pooping or gross stuff because they seem more like they're like frat guys who are trying to get laid a lot, and like that's not really conducive to picking up a potential partner to talk about that kind of stuff all the time. That's more like childish sleepover. So I had actually forgotten all about this song, and that they actually do have some body function jokes that aren't about like sex.
That's interesting. It never occurred to me, like what's is it like Freudian stages where you go from like the dick stage to the fart stage? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not smart enough, but
no. But isn't there a whole thing? It's like part of your like developmental psychology where you're initially obsessed with your mom or whatever, and then you're obsessed with your dad, and then you're obsessed with your dick, and then you're obsessed with your butt. But
and then you're obsessed with Blink-182.
And then you're obsessed with Blink-182, and some people end up stuck at that stage.
I pray for those people every night.
Yeah, God help them all. So maybe it's just that sort of Blink as artists, as men, just never developed, like never got to the anal stage, and so they're still at the sort of phallic developmental stage where they haven't even gone back. They haven't even explored that region.
Outside of that, there might be some sort of like anal retentive phobia towards bathroom stuff, because even in this song, he's not joking about his own diarrhea or his own bowel movements. He's sort of using it as an insult against this guy Gary, who ultimately, regardless of there's all kinds of gender politics at play here too, but ultimately Gary, if he does have dysentery, that has nothing to do with this and should not be like, I mean, don't poop shame him.
It's true. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm excited for us to get back into the identity politics core of this podcast that I think we've strayed from over the last few episodes.
Yeah, and I do think that really our audience is desperate for that.
Well, I mean, that's all I'm seeing. Like on the Blink-182 Reddit, I'm seeing all these threads that are just like, when is Blink-155 going to get back to their roots of discussing, feminist critical theory and the butt. But you actually raise an interesting question, because you're saying that Gary, and obviously I agree that from the title, that the whole vibe of the song is lashing out at Gary, who's actually not named in the song. It's like Antichrist. It's like a Lars von Trier movie. There's she and he in this instance, he is a player, but he's a diarrhea giver. And so that to me says like, he might not himself have diarrhea. Like, I have mono. Every woman I've ever kissed since I was a child has like got mono like a few weeks later. And mercifully, I'm a serial monogamist, but that means that like all of my relationships get really bogged down in like month one, where the person that I'm with is like bedridden.
Right. Because of your disgusting kisses.
Because I have disgusting diseased kisses. So
I think that's called cooties.
Yeah, I have cooties. So is Dysentery Gary himself afflicted with dysentery, or is he like a vessel for dysentery. And also, did either one of us bother to Google dysentery before we started this podcast? Because we're just assuming
I did Google it, but I didn't write it down. But I've opened it again. Dysentery is a type of gastroenteritis that results in diarrhea with blood.
Oh, so that's awful.
So there's not just regular diarrhea. It's diarrhea with a little a little exclusive.
It's for only patrons get dysentery. So that's actually if you sign up for the Blink 155 Patreon.
I'll send you some of my blood mixed with some of my feces.
I don't know that you can do that in the mail. Can you?
On the what's it called? Silk Road or whatever.
Right, yeah. So Silk Road version 3.0 or whatever.
We also have a different Patreon on the dark web.
Yeah, it's way cooler.
But we can't talk about it at all.
No, because this podcast is on the normal web. All we can talk about is you not doing your job.
This is for normies only, not for like the deep internet heads.
It's true, yeah. So, do you interpret this song as being about a person like that has diarrhea, or a person that is like somehow like, I don't know, are they like a Taco Bell employee? Like, what is their...
I'm not gonna lie. Until I read the lyrics, I had always thought that it was Diarrhea Gambler.
Same, yeah, totally. It
And
sounds a lot like Gambler.
As someone who you've already just automatically guessed has had diarrhea plenty of times in my life, that reminds me of like being like, oh, I'll just wait to go to the bathroom till I get home, and then like sort of gambling with this, like the sort of games that you play with your intestines. That's what I always assumed it as. So then this diarrhea giver thing, I don't want to spoil too much, but we do have our first guest ever on this podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to play it later on, but it's my friend Mich Way from the band White Long, and she also was questioning this, and then in talking with her, I started thinking, well, maybe it has to do with anal sex. Does that give people diarrhea?
Did she answer that question?
She just called me a pervert, actually. You'll hear.
Okay, so the end of the episode, that's where the guest spot comes in.
Yeah, so we'll play that later. But I mean, honestly, Diarrhea Giver, I really don't understand. But I do think that this lyrically, again, some of these lyrics are like contribute to the fact that maybe Tom is just sort of doing Mad Libs and not really making sense. Like, because also, like, why does he say something about him trying on his mother's tights? And like I just feel like he's kind of all over the place with what he's talking about, growing his hair out. Like, at one point I thought he was sort of shaming the guy for being a little bit more feminine by wearing tights and growing his hair out. But again, I don't know how that has to do with giving someone diarrhea.
Yeah, and I thought he was making fun of him for listening to Slayer, but then you actually like look at the lyrics and you're like, oh no, it's just about a dude who's like a poser. Like a poser with diarrhea, I guess, right? Because he tried to grow his hair out when his friends were listening to Slayer. I don't know, man.
And then he tried on his father's tights. So his father was a cross-dresser. I mean, all of it is just like so clumsy that I don't really think that if he's trying to hurt Gary's feelings, it's really going to come across.
You think Gary heard this and was like, yeah, cool, man. Like, what are you even talking about, my dude?
Yeah, maybe.
Just like...
But ultimately, I think we should... Let's play the sound effect.
Identity politics sound effect coming up?
I'm trying to see if there's anything in here that I can click. Oh, there's a bass right here.
Is that like in GarageBand?
No, I was just sitting here.
Oh.
Yeah, because when I listened to the song earlier today, I was like, oh, I want to play bass right now because the bass line kind of like struck a nerve with me.
You were influenced, inspired.
But while we're still on the lyrics, I just want to say, this song is clearly like this weird sort of ownership of females that happens in. We've talked about it before with like alternative rock, especially in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like, the girl just clearly doesn't like Tom and likes this other guy. Whether or not Tom likes him or not, it doesn't matter. It's like she doesn't want to be with him. So like, just fucking chill.
True, man. True. You're a good ally.
This is like some friend zone kind of shit or something, or like some MRA shit.
It's true. Yeah, this is a guy who like, this guy's no fap now for sure, and is I don't know the difference between incel and volcel. Oh, sorry. I guess incel is involuntarily celibate, right? And so,
Yeah.
So this dude is like totally an incel, but like who pretends that he's a volcel. Is that a thing? Do people like pose as volcels?
I would assume so.
Yeah. Okay. I should ask Ashley because she's the one who's like more active on Reddit. Hey, Ashley.
Oh God.
Do people who are incel ever pretend that they're volcel? Like,
I don't think so.
okay, so Ashley's saying that no, they're pretty distinct camps.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The Bitcoin badman has spoken.
so yeah, this
No,
song.
but it is like, it does make me think, especially, and then it got me thinking like, I need a girl that I can train. It reminded me of Dumpweed again, and the dog thing again. Like, once again, when he says, "Where's my dog? Girls are such a drag," is he talking about wanting to fuck a dog very subtly? Probably, but also he's equating girls with dogs, and it's like this weird ownership kind of thing.
Or maybe just like a lot of people say that when you're people who are experiencing, trauma in their life, that a dog can add, so much, I think, to your to your life because they provide you with what's the term? Unconditional love, right? So
I thought the term you were looking for was a hole.
Yeah, that's the term I was looking for. So, so the idea that this person is like, where's my dog? Like, I need a good friend. But I think it's much more likely that you are correct, and it's in fact like it's hole-based humor.
Right. Yeah, I think that's enough about the lyrics, unless you have anything else you want to.
Well, only that
say.
I think what I find confusing about it is that there are like sort of sincere emotional moments buried in like just like problematic, juvenile kind of Mad Libs, as you pointed out. So, like the shit about like, fuck this place, I lost the war, and like it feels like there's like very genuine angst, like genuine high school emo angst coming through in the middle of stuff about fucking a dog and wanting to own a girl. And is the beginning like the thing about the pigtails and
going to jail?
and-
Yeah, is that like a jailbait reference?
yeah. So like, but again, I don't think that that's necessarily like what Tom was thinking. I think it's just like a lot of words, man. You need a lot of words to write a song.
It's a very verbose song.
It's long,
It's
man.
It's like the new Proto Martyr album, like basically the same kind of thing.
Well, and I've heard Proto Martyr talk about how Dysentery Gary was a huge influence on them.
Right. Yeah.
And you can see it, and you can see it as you especially unpack. Like, this is one of those songs that's you're not supposed to unpack this. Like, this is so much more than anyone should ever talk. I mean, and we know this about this entire project, but any more than anyone should be talking about the Dysentery Gary lyrics.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, you're right. That's enough, man. I'm good. I'm done with the lyrics.
Well, I feel like I do want to share my anecdote, even though it's going to be really, really, it's me exposing a lot of myself.
Oh, wow. Well, we've already talked about your multiple wounds, your regular diarrhea. Like, how much more exposed are you going to get right now?
Well, I'm ready. This is like my Marin moment to like really expose it all.
Yeah, man. Pow!
See, I can make podcast references.
Have you seen that Brendan Wardell video where he just plays Mark Maron like while he's DJing or whatever? So
Yeah,
it's a club
what the
full of
fuck?
people and just, what's up with the fucking ears? Anyway.
When are they gonna? They should play Blink-155 at emo night. I think.
You're friends with the guy that runs Emo Night, right?
I'm friends with a guy who like works with those people. Yeah, but I mean, where's the limit with how far we want to stretch our relation? Like, I felt bad asking my friends to help me move last weekend, and now I'm just gonna basically go to everyone I can think of and and explain this
100%.
pod. And,
Listen, if you are listening to this podcast and you are a writer for the AV Club or like, I don't know who else writes about podcasts.
or fucking alternative press.
Yeah.
Or
I still get free alternative
NME.
press. Yeah, NME.
NME,
yeah.
bruv.
If
Oi, bruv.
if for example someone who works on this podcast like writes for Exclaim magazine, like there's got to be something that can be done.
Right.
Here.
I
So-
should write about my own podcast in the in the paper that I work for. That's there's got to be some lines here.
Nah, it's fine. Just get Stephen Carlick to do it. Everyone at Stephen Carlick on Twitter, tell him how much you love this podcast and that Exclaim should put us on the cover.
Yeah. Well, it is true though. So we gotta get the word out a little bit here. We can't keep stressing all of our relationships with people.
It's true. Yeah, I'm gonna after we finish recording this, DM Chris from Propaganda about being on an episode because I think that would be funny. So we're putting ourselves on the line here, and we need you to put yourselves on the line as well, listeners, like with us together.
So, and I think this will be our sort of Marion, like when someone came out of the closet on Marion, or someone like. When people cry about their dads on Marion, this is going to be that moment right now as I truly become the most open I could possibly be.
You cried about your dad on the very first episode, though. For people that haven't listened to the Dumpweed episode, it's basically about Josiah's dad.
Yeah, I mean, listen to the podcast. You're missing out.
So, okay, let's get real, Josiah. So,
okay,
it's worse than a wound.
I gotta get into the.
It's worse than diarrhea. Yeah, we're in my garage. We're
cat palace or whatever.
We're connecting, man. Just tell me about your shit.
All right. I literally am about to tell you about my shit.
Okay.
So, trying to think what age I was. Probably like grade 9, maybe. Grade 9 or grade 10. Or if we were in America, we would say 9th grade or 10th grade. The diarrhea gambler thing is really what made me remember this anecdote that I've told people. I tell people this story like sometimes. I feel like this is the sign that I'm in a happy marriage where I would never stray, because whenever I'm alone with like a girl at a party that I vaguely know, I go to this story and it goes really badly. They're like, "Oh, why are you telling me this?" I'm like, "I don't know. This is my go-to story." So when I was like in junior high age, I had like gained a lot of weight from eating too much junk food all the time. Yeah. And my mom was like, enough is enough. Because I used to like have a Slurpee every day on my lunch break, like a large Slurpee. My mom was like, enough is enough. You're going on a diet. No more Slurpees for a while. And she was like really strict with me, and like I was good. I went like 6 weeks without having a Slurpee. And then one day, it was a really hot day, and I was like, fuck this. I'm going to get a Slurpee. So my friends and I, Tom and Adam, don't really talk to them very much anymore. They've probably never heard the pod, but I never told them that this happened, so I should mention it in case they ever do listen. They'll know. We walked to 7-Eleven in Abbotsford. It was a really hot day, and it was like so hot that the Slurpees had just, when they get turned to like pure syrup in the machine. Yeah. But I was like it was like a 20-minute walk from my house, and I was so stubbornly ready to break edge with this Slurpee. So I was like, fuck it, I'm getting a Slurpee. So we started walking home, and I was like drinking this disgusting all syrup Slurpee in the hot summer sun. And then like I would say about halfway home, I started feeling like this gurgle in my stomach. And I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll just like power through. And then we just kept walking a bit, and they were talking, and I noticed that I was sort of breaking into a cold sweat, and they're like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing, don't worry about it. And we just kept walking. And then there's like a sort of a final pathway that you go up to get to our old house in Abbotsford.
Pathway. It's like a video game.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like a ravine connecting one busy road to another. And just as we were getting to that ravine, the gurgle got so intense that I was like, I have to just sprint home right now. So I just started sprinting, which is obviously the worst possible thing you could do.
Yeah, you got to walk in like a controlled way, clenched, man.
I know. So I was young and naive then. So I just started sprinting. This is the real diarrhea gambler right here. And luckily I was far enough away that they couldn't see what happened. But as I was running home, I would just say that how I describe the feeling is that it was like all of a sudden I was wearing long johns. Because my entire legs were coated in this hot paste. And so I sprinted home, and I was like, I went into our washroom at my parents' house, and I was like fucking panicking because there was shit everywhere. And so in my panic, I literally flushed my boxers down the toilet. And then I climbed into the shower. There was like shit everywhere. And my friends eventually made it to my house, and my mom was just like, leave, just leave. And then, needless to say, literally the boxers got jammed in this weird place where it actually like broke the toilet, and my family had to buy a new toilet. So that's my diarrhea gambler story.
And this is a go-to party story for you when you're like just talking to someone one-on-one?
To acquaintances, yeah.
How does it come up?
It's a good story.
No, it's great story.
It's just a good story.
But it's not like you're having conversations about Dysentery Gary at every party, unless you are, in which case,
no.
Calgary rules, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't told it in a while, so I'm glad that I could finally open up to you like this.
No,
and this means that you're part of an exclusive club who's heard the story. Look, hopefully you'll edit this part out of the episode.
Yeah, no, this is obviously not going to be in the episode, man. Don't worry. It's fine.
No, so I sympathize with Dysentery Gary, unless he's the one giving the diarrhea, in which case I am against Dysentery Gary.
Well, it's like Dysentery Gary in your story is the Slurpee machine, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Or really, it's myself. I mean, I should have just stuck to the plan.
Oh, that's okay. That's
right?
Interesting, because maybe in the song, it's like being your own worst enemy. Dysentery Gary is a diarrhea giver, but he gives it to himself through his gambling with diarrhea.
Exactly. I mean, Diarrhea Gambler was the better lyric.
Diarrhea Gambler, unfortunately, it's way, way superior. Okay, that's a good story, man. I don't think I have a good story about diarrhea.
I mean, I have others, but we'll save them for the future in case diarrhea ever comes up again.
Here's a story that I actually don't know that I've told anyone. But I used to work at a children's summer camp, and generally was a counselor for the kids that were like 8 to 10 years old, typically. Were the cabins that I got. And so, sometimes those kids that have accidents and stuff, it's like first time at camp, it's 2 weeks away from home or whatever. And
like significantly younger than I was at the age of my story.
So I want to point out that this is a story about babies.
Carry on.
So I had a camper who had like very serious diarrhea, soiled like everything kind of thing, and it was like in the middle of the day, and like someone like kind of called me over and was like, "Yo, one of your campers is having a bad time right now," and so got him some fresh clothes, got him into a shower, got his clothes out, like had to like wash his clothes and shit, literally, and so all of his clothes go into like a massive industrial cleaning apparatus. And somewhere in that process, and probably because I was myself like a teenager who was not good at their job, I like lost his pants, I think. Because I remember like the next day the kid being like, "Hey man, like, thanks, and like, do you have my jeans?" And I was like, "No, doc, I don't." And then being like, but he can't do anything about it. Like, he can't, what's he gonna do? Like, tell someone that, oh, like my shitty camp counselor lost my jeans because I had diarrhea and I shit all over myself. So I was like,
you sort of blackmailed him.
Yeah, to keep his like 8-year-old jeans.
Did you sell them?
No, I just lost them. I didn't do anything like nefarious with them.
I feel like there's something missing in this story.
The point is, I felt bad and irresponsible, but I ultimately realized there would be no repercussions because we were bonded by the secret.
His dark secret.
Yeah, his dark, runny secret. so that's actually
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we go from here? I
don't know, man. Do you have any like weird facts about this song, or are we into like covers territory?
Oh no, we got. Oh, are you kidding me? You're trying to end it that soon?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, go back to the classic length. We still got like 10 minutes with Mish at the end of this episode. I'm just trying to.
Too bad.
Okay.
This song is on the Enema of the State demo, and it sounds very sick.
Does it? I bet it does.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say, like, I have a really weird relationship with this song because I constantly change my mind about whether or not I like it.
Oh, I love this song. You don't like this song sometimes?
No. Today I do like it, but I think it's a testament to, like, how good Enema of the State actually is that I often skip it when I'm listening to the whole album. But then when I just focus in on this song today, I'm like, okay, actually, it's very good.
Oh yeah, this is like a must play song, and there's a reason why it's still in the live set.
Yeah, I guess.
I can see. Yeah,
I just like there's something
committed.
about it that like there's something about it that kind of bugs me, but I also love like the bass line is sort of like but and I hate it. It's so dorky, but then also I literally did take my bass out and play bass earlier because of it.
Yeah,
so.
you were bass-inspired by it. I love the way the kind of chorus is sort of ostensibly like very big, but that there's only kind of the one guitar doing the lead part. Then
Actually, I like that too.
Yeah, it's always such a like interesting decision for a band at a level like that to say there's only going to be one guitar in a chorus, and it's not going to be doing like there's not a rhythm, there isn't like a wall of sound, like it's just the sort of single note ringing out and the vocal line following it. So it's also like juvenile in a sense melodically that way, but it's a band at a point where that's clearly a very deliberate decision, and so
I think
it's
that
really
does
simple.
That points to what we've talked about them not having another guitarist live. It does feel intentional and like it sounds weird in a cool way. And I feel like that guitar riff at the end is kind of almost like, because it's so high up on the scale, it almost sounds like Guns N' Roses or something.
It's full on like Sweet Child O' Mine kind of vibes right at the end, and yeah, I think it sounds sick, dude.
So the demo version, there are some differences that don't really matter that much, but it doesn't have Mark singing the bridge.
Really? Does it have Tom singing it, or is it just a different bridge?
I think there's no bridge, but I can't remember now. But also at the end of the song, Tom sings Mark's mom is a whore instead of your mom is a whore. So just a little tidbit for you.
That's a nice one. Maybe was that the seed that ultimately broke the band apart, do you think?
Mark's like, my mom's not a whore. I've always wondered that, like, what, like, have you ever actually been mad when someone said like your mom or whatever? Like, it's funny. Actually get mad about that. It's like, what, like, do you not realize they're just engaging in a classic schoolyard insult format as old as time itself?
Yeah, it's not even imaginative. No, I don't think. I mean, I don't think I've ever been tested. You know, to be fair, I don't know that anyone's ever.
I tested your mom.
See, honestly, now I'm mad again. It's like you've insulted Kyle Bishop. That's how I feel about my mom. I like my mom as much as I like the Burlington hardcore band Grade.
Well, your mom has just as good facial hair.
Walked right into that one, I guess.
No, yeah. I mean, it's like a stupid, like, that's so juvenile. But it's funny when maybe it doesn't even happen in real life, but in movies when someone's like, "What did you fucking say about my mom?" It's like, probably that person doesn't even know your mom.
Yeah, I was also thinking that about when people get mad in movies when a character calls another character's mom like hot, and that often becomes the sort of start of a fight. And you're like, I don't ever remember that happening.
Right.
I don't know how many hot moms there were. I'm really deviating now, but like this mom stuff doesn't seem as triggering in the real world as it does in fiction sometimes.
Although, come to think of it, without naming names, I have recently seen this happen between two people that I know. One of them said something like about the other's mom being hot, and he got really pissed off. But I think they have like this weird love-hate friendship anyways.
And so that was just like kind of
it was just an
scratching at the
excuse
surface.
to be angry, maybe. But that was what had spurred this thought. I just remembered as I'm talking out loud, and it's like, it's really weird to think that could ever make someone mad.
Yeah, well, you and I just are not kind enough to our mothers, maybe. Maybe that's the problem, is it's us.
Yeah, I've learned the hard way that you should always listen to your mother's dietary advice.
Yeah, it's true. You've obviously not shown the proper amount of deference to your mom's wisdom.
So I'm not going to play those two parts I mentioned, but it's just worth listening to the demo because it just sounds sick. It's like whenever you listen to the Enema of the State demo, you almost can't go back to Enema of the State for a sec. It's like the opposite of what you said about Slayer. Like when you listen to Lo-Fi Blink, then you just want to stay there forever.
Yes, totally. Are you going to play it right now?
Yes.
Hell yes. Yo, I love how it's like my neck. Like the delivery on the vocals
I know,
is also totally different.
That's one part that I almost don't like because it sounds kind of grunge in a weird way.
It's also like really slow, which is weird because I always think of demos being the things that you kind of do on your own. And I don't know. I imagine a band like this, your inclination is probably to play a little bit faster, and then you get in the studio and like you want to maybe commercialize it a little bit, slow it down, make it take the edges off. But it's really kind of dirgier.
Yeah, I know.
It's basically a grunge song. You're right. It's a Soundgarden song.
Well, yeah. Along those lines, speaking of that, somebody did without any reason or being asked. They did create a repitched, slower version of it and uploaded it to YouTube. So I don't know why people do these things, really.
Well, I mean, you're saying this is a man who's 13 episodes deep on a Blink-182 song-by-song podcast. So at this point, I don't think you can question anyone's motives or motivation for anything.
Anything?
Yeah, sure, man.
Okay, so here it is. Here's how it sounds when it's really slow.
Yo, that's awesome.
Why? Why do they do that?
But see, I think that's cool because like nightcore is a thing. You hear a lot of things sped up, and then we talked about this before. You hear that like super slowed down. Everything sounds like Sigur Rós gimmick a lot. I can't believe Blink and Justin Bieber and whatever sound like Sigur Rós. Whereas just slowing things down enough to kind of change the vibe, but like maintain some degree of like a band could sound like that. I think
like making it sound like the Melvins, basically.
Well, yeah, like so. Two things about that. One is like I remember early days of like I was straight edge for a long time, and I didn't start. I've never smoked anything in my life till I was like deep in my 20s, and an early experience with the ganj involved like. It like sitting in my living room, like with all the lights off, just listening to like just doing the corniest thing you could possibly do, like listening to Black Sabbath on a record player. And I remember like Ashley getting up and like fiddling with the sound, like because we had just a variable speeds, and being like, "This is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life." And I will always cherish that moment. And similarly, have you heard the like Chipmunks on 16 speed stuff? That I think it's like that stuff is so sick. So like I think is it Brian Borchett or whatever? Is that who did this?
The slowed down thing?
Yeah.
Of this?
No, not of Blink-182.
Oh, I'm like, the guy that did this thing I just played?
No, I mean the guy who did the Chipmunk stuff. I think that was Brian Borchett, right? Or Borchert, or I don't know how you pronounce his name. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Fuck, dude.
I don't know about this stuff. I only know about Diarrhea.
Okay, so...
But along those lines of what you're saying, some great internet person has also realized that when you speed up Bruce Springsteen, he sounds a lot like Stevie Nicks.
Oh, yeah. And there's like a thing there. There's like a Dolly Parton one, too. There's a couple of really good...
Yeah.
Okay, no, so the Chipmunks thing was Brian Borchert or whatever. But like he was like Holy Fuck is like his big thing. But he does...
yeah. Okay, that's who you're talking about. Yeah.
I
thought you meant like the original Chipmunks records.
No, I mean like specifically like these records. And just because like I want to hear it now, and we already did this last episode with listening to like the spooky tone, like.
And I'm the one who goes off topic.
I know. I'm ashamed. But you know what? Like, look, if you like this podcast, you're going to like this. So this is sort of same vibe, and I hope that more people will take Blink songs in the future and slow them down and send them to us if they sound as good as that. And so this is just like same vibe. It's a dude in an established band doing Walk Like an Egyptian, but like dramatically slowed down.
So is this, I think what it actually is, I remember this now. He just took the original Chipmunks records that came out way back when were pop songs that were sped up. to sound like the Chipmunks were singing. It's like kind of the original Nightcore.
Well,
and then he took those records and slowed them back down. Is that right?
Yeah, so the original Chipmunks records, what they would do is they would actually record normal vocals, but record everything slowed down. And then when they sped them up, the records would sound like they were at the right speed, but the vocals would sound like Chipmunks. And so what happens when you slow them down is you get these like super dirgy instrumentals, but the vocals actually sound totally normal.
Yes. Okay. That's okay. Now I'm all caught up.
Yeah. And it's a huge tangent, but just like I love these things so much, and we've opened up the door.
Okay, here we go. This is Walk Like an Egyptian from the guy from Holy Fuck. Yeah, that's so sick.
Is Walk Like an Egyptian problematic?
I don't know. Ask an Egyptian.
I don't know any.
Man, well, then definitely.
That's part of the problem for sure. I got to expand my horizons, man. If you are an Egyptian listener to this podcast, please add us. And I apologize if any of that seemed insensitive. Let us know. And
see, with all of the woke posturing, that's why this podcast is so long.
Because we spend so much time like trying to dance I
gotta check my. Well, let's speed things up a little bit because finally we have a Blink-182 song where someone has done a Nightcore version.
Oh, great!
So let's just hear some of that. It was requested by Defo182 Tokyo DeLong. So Alt Nightcore published it actually earlier this year, probably knowing that it would get featured on the pod.
That's fair. They were preparing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that too.
That's like what I was saying earlier about the not being able to go back from the demo version. I also feel like now the regular one seems too slow because that was so perfect.
Yeah, that was tight. I think I maybe like that more than the slow version. Maybe.
Hard to say.
I mean, because ultimately, like, I don't really like the Melvins. I like tell people I like the Melvins, but like I don't listen to the Melvins.
Yeah.
Do you listen to the Melvins?
Absolutely not. In fact, I actually kind of hate like sludge metal stuff like that or whatever that genre of like. Yeah. I mean, I am straight edge and I've never really been into weed. So like to me that kind of like dank, slow metal hard rock shit is just it feels like you're listening to it sounds like what it feels like to be inside a head shop.
Yeah, totally. I saw Swans once, and this was like before it turned out that guy was like a for real bad man. I just want to make that clear. I wouldn't see them now.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I'm pretending to like this.
One of our exclusives should just be both of us like performatively apologizing for being white men for an hour and a half.
Dude, we are 13 episodes into exactly that.
Yeah, I know. Like Swans too. Like I remember I listened to one of that Badman's solo albums and like pretended to be into it for a minute, and I was like, ugh, I don't know. There was a band called Enemy Mine that became Big Business or something, and it's also related to Godhead Silo. Yeah. And I really loved that band Enemy Mine. They were sick. They opened for Modest Mouse once, and maybe just because I was seeing Modest Mouse, to hear something that loud and almost metal made me really like them. Oh yeah. But other than that, like I don't know.
I love tons of stoner stuff, but just not like the stuff that's difficult and arty. Like I just want to listen to Torch all the time. Like I just think every band should sound like Torch.
Because that's definitely more. Well, they like write pop songs. Like they should cover a Blink-182 song. Actually, that'd be sick.
I think because I was introduced to Torch, via I think a popular way of describing them, which was that it was like Cheap Trick meets Black Sabbath, and that's exactly what that band is. But I think that what's missing from that equation is Blink. Like, imagine Torch doing Dysentery Gary. Like, and think about that last section, right? The like, boo doo doo, bow now now. Like, you could extend that and make it like 5 minutes, and just like, you know, slow. You can't see me right now, but I'm doing like the slow stoner rock air drums, and I'm fucking pumped right now, dude. I'm so pumped.
Well, I feel like, to me, the Melvins, you're right, like the artier stuff, it almost reminds me of the Metallica Lou Reed album or something.
Yeah, it's true.
Which I know people, contrarians, like to say they actually like that one.
No one likes that album. That's the whole thing about that album.
So I was going to ask you, Sam.
Yes, Josiah.
You said that this song is a live staple.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, did you ever like the version of it that's on the Mark, Tom, and Travis show?
I'll be honest, I didn't own the Mark, Tom, and Travis show because I feel like it came out maybe around a time that like my interest in the band was kind of waning, and I thought I was. We've talked about this a lot in this podcast.
Yeah.
I've yet to like fully map it out, but in terms of when I thought I was like cooler than it, because that was like them capitalizing on literally being one of the most popular rock bands in the world, and I was in high school at that point and getting into Minor Threat, and I just thought that I was like probably cooler than that. So I can't even conjure in my mind what the live version of the song sounds like.
So, okay, two things in response to that. I agree with you, and I also never really was that into it because I was in an era of my life where I thought I was too cool. Post diarrhea-ing in my pants, I went through a phase of thinking I was too cool for Blink-182. But
it was
so
just too
relatable
for you. That sounds like that was the problem.
Secondly, I was trying to. The true heads will know what I was trying to do here. I was trying to set a little trap for you to fall into, because this song was not on the Mark, Tom, and Travis show. But
why would you do that to me? Why?
Because I was gonna try. Because I was gonna see if this passes the test. Because last year, a guy uploaded to YouTube a fan fiction Mark, Tom, and Travis show version of the song where he took crowd noises. He added reverb, sound effects, delay, and compression, and added crowd noises and made a Mark, Tom, and Travis show version.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
I heard that.
What the fuck? You know what's crazy? I was looking for covers earlier, and so I was on SoundCloud, and SoundCloud also obviously aggregates the official versions of these songs now. And so I heard basically that, I think, and it has like the Mark, Tom, and Travis like artwork to go along with it. And I didn't think, but it was uploaded to like a fan account, and I was like, oh, that's weird, because I know SoundCloud's like really clamped down on, users uploading content with these labels that they're sort of in the process of trying to negotiate with because they want to be like an Apple Music or Spotify or whatever. And so the actual song is under the official Blink account, but that one was just under this rando fan account. And I was like, that's weird. But I didn't think twice about it. I listened to it for all of 2 seconds, and it sounded like a live version.
Exactly. I mean,
this is like a Shazam-Kazam kind of situation, which I think
once again, it's one of those things where people are just doing incredibly subtle edits to just create a better narrative about Blink-182 in the world.
I love it, man. I can't wait till we full on fall for one of these. Like, and again, I think we've talked a lot about Berenstain, Shazam-Kazam situations before on the pod, but like this is that. Like you almost Kazammed me.
I almost bamboozled you. Yeah, I know. But unfortunately,
I'll never trust you again.
The thing is, you were far too honest and earnest to truly be tricked. I mean, it was a real test to see, is Sam really willing to be the guy that he is and just put his heart out there, which you were, instead of just trying to be like, try to bullshit your way through it, which I may have done. We'll see. We'll see if you ever try to trick me in the future.
Yeah, I can't wait to devise some like authenticity tests for you. I didn't realize that like I needed to protect myself from these kinds of like nefarious tricks, but fine.
But I have already established that I'm going to be 100% honest and earnest. I've already opened up my heart on this podcast. this episode.
I just didn't think I needed to say it, but I guess I do. I just thought you knew it, Josiah, but fine.
Well, I mean, I thought also. I mean, imagine how good Saban X would feel about himself if he was able to trick one of the hosts of the world's best Blink-182 podcast.
One of the world's Blink-182 podcasts.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's pretty funny. They still play it with Matt, as you've mentioned. I'm just trying to move along.
Good transition,
I'm just trying to
man.
get through this shit. I don't know. Like, I feel like, well, we can put on Matt playing it and just hear a little bit of it. I don't think I like it with Matt.
I mean, I'll be honest. Every time I've seen Blink with Matt twice, and we talked about this sort of extensively on other episodes. But every time they get to the song, because I feel like, and I couldn't tell you this empirically, but I feel like the song always comes up kind of in the latter half of the set, and by then I've just so given myself over to the experience. And I'm so excited to hear like older songs, because often, like when I saw them in Vegas, they played like Wendy Clear. They were playing like stuff I hadn't heard them play, previously or recently anyway. And so this song comes on, and I'm just like so happy to be hanging out with my friends Blink-182. Like I couldn't tell you if he sings it well or terribly, or if he played all the wrong notes. Like I just loved it.
Okay. Well.
Let's find out objectively right now whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, this is the Lollapalooza feed, which
well, that was especially rough, yeah.
But yeah, well, either way, here we go.
That sounds great.
I feel like maybe what it is that this song is so Tom DeLonge. Like I can only hear his voice doing it, that I really notice the differences, and he sounds more like almost too good at singing.
I agree. That's like a good performance. Yeah. Like
it's because it needs to have more of the like the snarl, like the whiny suburban snarl, instead of like Matt Skiba's weird, like, sexy Morrissey voice.
He was doing a lot of like Morrissey stuff just in that version alone, but it's I would say it's kind of preferable to like latter era Blink with Tom, where you hear them doing this song and Tom just like clearly doesn't give a shit, and he's just like hi. Like that's basically how he sings it.
It's true. Like I guess
full
the
Tommy
thing is
Wiseau.
Like Blink. Well, Blink Live is very like, it's never gonna be as good as listening to the CD in your mom's minivan or whatever.
It'll never be better, guys. Cherish those moments.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's that. I actually saved a bunch of shit, but I'm not gonna waste our time with it. I'll post some of this stuff on our Instagram that you can follow, Blink-155 Pod.
Well, what's like the best? Now I feel like I've sort of made you sad a little bit.
A little sad. I'm a little sad.
What's
one
thing that you want to share, and then the rest of it people can find? Because we do have an Instagram now, so if you're on the gram, is it just at Blink-155 Pod on the gram?
Yeah.
And you could just like fully embrace your like shit posting kind of meme side.
Well, also when I said I wasn't going to share all of it, I still want to share I think 3 or 4 things right now.
Okay. But the remaining like 5 or 6 people will have to have to wait and see it on the gram.
Yeah, exactly. So we were recently shamed by a lot of people I know from Vancouver's pop punk / gaming scene for not knowing what RuneScape is, because we're not fucking dweebs. No offense.
We're cool.
No offense to the fucking dweebs out there.
No. Dweebs are fine, but like, you're dweebs is all.
Yeah, no thanks. But so I'm afraid to bring this up because I'm probably going to be like, oh, look at this random CGI art. And then they're going to be like, that's actually from the CD-ROM. That's from Mist.
Oh, Mist is tight, though.
But either way, you don't need sound for this. But someone has made this like very impressive. I feel like it might be The Sims, but maybe not. There's multiple Sims music videos for this song. but you should just watch some of this. There's like really good. They've copied Tom DeLonge's guitar exactly. They're playing in like a coffee house, I guess.
Yeah,
the CGI of the members of the band is pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah, well, I will say this, except it looks to me like they've got Mark stage left, and I feel like in every video I've seen, he tends to be stage right. And so, unless I'm kind of misremembering, it feels like, they've put all this detail into every other, whoa, it takes a real left turn. So it's like them playing in a coffee house, and then randomly there's people in a prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it a coffee house with a prison attached to it or something?
Well, I think that was timed perfectly with the lyrics, her pigtails, another night in jail.
Oh, okay.
Like, they've just taken the lyrics too literally. So again, you're right. They've done every detail, except for which side of the stage Mark should be on, which I never really thought about, the stage right or left thing.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a game. This looks like it's like way too literally timed to...
yeah, like it's customized so well, but...
There's a box of Heinekens in the background. It's like it's weird. I would say it looks a lot like Second Life, and there's this whole thing in Second Life of like cover bands. So, there are people who put together like really elaborate, in-game versions of like a Van Halen set or a Beyonce set. And they literally will like build the stage production, and they'll take like live recordings and map everything out, but they don't look this good.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's very impressive. So I will definitely share the visuals of this.
Yeah. So
on our...
if you want to see what the fuck we're talking about, definitely follow us on the gram.
Speaking of that,
how do you find these things, man? Like, this is just a video called Dysentery Gary, Blink 182.
I may have looked at every single video
like it has
that label.
It has 2,000 views. It has less than 2,000 views. And there's nothing in the title. Like, it's not like it's Dysentery Gary Screamo or Dysentery Gary Ska.
Well, I've stopped adding other things to the search terms because I'd like to find as much as possible. But I just realized that I may have accidentally narrowed my search better because I misspelled dysentery while I was searching.
Oh, yeah. Dysentery.
Because actually E-R-Y. So all of my research is things from Dysentery Gary, not... So maybe I missed out on some gold under the E-R-Y.
Oh, wow.
And I'm fully realizing how pathetic of a human being I am right now as I speak out loud.
We're going to have to do a follow-up episode where you learn how to spell dysentery.
But it's also a trick because of the spelling of dysentery, it should have been like Dysentery Jerry or something that's not spelled with an A. Because, I don't know. This is just a mess.
Yeah, you're right. This is awful. What else do you have, Josiah?
Well, because we've really become a podcast about the internet, I'm really happy that finally good old Sonic the Hedgehog is making an appearance.
Oh, that's great. I did see... Sorry, so we earlier referenced the RuneScape that we both were incapable of recognizing in the previous episode. And I did see, as you were being shamed by these, like... weird punk gamers that you're friends with on the West Coast. That I don't. Is Kyle Shields a friend of the pod? I don't know who Kyle Shields is.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, and he's like actually a competitive gamer. Like I think Mario Kart maybe or Smash Bros. He's always winning Smash Bros tournaments.
What? Like for
money?
money?
And he's from that band Open Letters. I don't know if you've heard them.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, they're sick.
So yeah, you're getting dragged, as the kids say, in this thread where they don't understand how we don't know what RuneScape is, which, like, I still don't know what RuneScape is. I'll never know.
Me neither, and I'm not going to learn because I'd like to keep some boundaries between me and them.
Yeah, it's good. But so Kyle has written, if Josiah can find a DeviantArt drawing of Travis Barker getting blown by emo Sonic the Hedgehog, he can't pull off the wrong generation card, which is like in reference to just being like, there's no way I know what this game is. So
I know.
Did you take that as a challenge and then subsequently find DeviantArt of Sonic the Hedgehog, emo Sonic the Hedgehog blowing Travis Barker?
I'm gonna say yes, so that I don't have to admit that I've looked at every single video uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah,
under the name just Gary. So yes, that's what I did. But yeah, somebody created this Sonic lyric video. They said, today's my birthday, so I decided to make myself a video. I hope you all like it, which is like a little bit heartbreaking. Truly, someone else should make you a video on your birthday, but
I know.
But maybe next year, well,
Josiah, when's your birthday?
December 29th is this person's birthday. So maybe if I remember, I'll make them a birthday, or we should all make them a birthday video this year.
We should honestly, I'm going to put this in a calendar right now. So December 29th, and this is for Sonic 4079.
4079, yeah.
Birthday. Okay, I've made a note in the show notes. So let's all remember it. Everyone put it in your calendar, and then maybe
I don't know how to get in touch. Like, can you send somebody a video on YouTube?
I don't think so. Some people have open messages. What we could do is on their birthday, we could all go to this video. We could link this video. And who knows how much more popular, by the way, this show is going to be by December 29th, 2017. And they're still posting. They're still uploading. So I think we should go to this video, though, and all write in the comments, happy birthday, as many people as possible.
Yeah, that's true. Let's do that. That's easier.
Yeah, let's not overcommit here. But
no, if you're going to make fan art, make it for us.
So if you could all, as you're listening to this, just take a minute. You're listening to this on your phone probably, so take out your phone, mark December 29th. We'll link this video in the show description, so you can maybe like put a little note, and then we'll do a reminder in that week's show to of course give our friend here birthday wishes.
Sonic 4079.
Yep.
Now that we've done this nice gesture, let's make fun of their video.
Yeah. Okay. Totally.
No, I don't know. There's not that much to make fun of. There's just like clips of the Sonic cartoon with lyrics that occasionally pop up that are. Wait, are there lyrics here?
Yeah, but
they're sort of designed in that de share zone sort of modern internet way.
Yeah, like it's sort of stuff like this where I'm like, is this person joking? Or I guess you realize that ultimately like de share zone is and those kinds of like meme pages are drawing from a very real part of the internet. What's interesting about this is it's only like 30 seconds of the song, and it's like kind of the end of the song, which is particularly vicious. So it's like images of Sonic, and there's like a sexy lady Sonic. I don't really understand. I don't know enough about Sonic. And then like your mom's a whore written on top of it.
Yeah, I hate you all.
Yeah. So happy birthday, man.
Yeah, I mean it is very dark, but I really do appreciate it. It's really evocative.
It is highly evocative. All right, well, we'll see this video again in a couple months.
Okay, my last bullshit thing before we get to covers, because again, I'm not trying to challenge your cred, but I was wondering if you know what this is, because I don't. It's an animated Flash video called The Cliff 1, and it's soundtracked by Dysentery Gary. It was uploaded in 2006, and it has almost 9.4 million views.
What?
And people in the comments say this is one of the first videos I've ever seen on the internet.
I've never seen this video.
And it's like basically just like Flash animations of a bunch of guys falling off a cliff and dying.
And that's it. There's just bodies just piling up at the bottom of this, like... God, this is so weird. 9 million views.
Yeah, and it's soundtracked by Blink. So I don't know, like, maybe just this version of it is soundtracked by Blink, or I don't really know, but...
Well, yeah, because I wonder, like, Flash back in the day, like, would this have had any audio, or is this just, like, what they've done? But all the comments are like, this is my childhood. This is one of the first videos on the internet. So if you have a memory of this, please let us know. It's just people dying into a cliff.
And when I Google it, like, it doesn't mention Blink anywhere else, so maybe just this specific one is soundtracked by that. But again, it's really funny that people, and I've found other things that I haven't brought up now, but like there's videos of like boys' night out, or like, I don't know, or even like weirdly tender videos of like high school memories and stuff. And it's such a weird, like, even if you don't think about what the song is about, it's literally has diarrhea in the title, basically. Like, it's such an odd song to pick for anything other than its very specific lyrics. for your sweet romance, end of camp video. That might be a good transition into covers. Are we ready? Are we there? Yeah. I can let go of the other things.
This podcast is all about letting go, Josiah.
Literally, of your bowels.
So, as we transition into down, 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 or not down, 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 what you're saying, jumps out in very, it's in Technicolor when you start trying to find covers of the song, because like every Blink song, it's 99% sweet acoustic versions when it's not like guitar covers or whatever. But a lot of those are like pretty rudimentary. It's like one person and their guitar and whatever. This one really jumped out at me because it's this like lush arrangement, like really pro sounding, quite beautiful. And again, like it feels like a gag from like a Lonely Island skit or something. Like this would be in Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, where you'd play this amazing song and then like the record exec could be like, that's it, man, that's the fucking single. Like, it's going to make you a star. Like, what's that fucking song called? Dysentery, Gary? Like
the funny thing is this version, this song that you've sent me, I found the same thing on YouTube by the same guy. His name's OD Acoustic, and he was using it to promote his album Time Is a Stranger on iTunes.
Like, the song is about fucking a dog. Maybe it's about like, I don't know. The opening lyrics to the pigtails in the jail is like troubling. It's like, I can't tell if the thing about wearing your dad's tights is like drag phobic. Like, I don't know what thing that is, but it's a weird one, man.
It's like, yeah, like lyrically it's a disaster.
But this is a beautiful arrangement though.
It is, and it's what I was going to say also is when I wrote this down in my notes, I also used the word lush.
Yeah, because lush is like the acoustic version of angular.
Exactly. But also, just silently while I play it, I want you to look at the YouTube version because he kind of looks like Michael Showalter.
Oh, tight. I love Michael Showalter.
Yeah. Okay, I'll play you some of OD Acoustic's Dysentery Gary Blink-182 cover.
Okay, tight.
And remember, as of 6 years ago, Time Is a Stranger is out now on iTunes. So also check that out.
Check it out. Check it out, guys.
Got a lot of heartache. He's a fucking weasel. His issues make my mind ache. Wanna make a deal, cause I love your little emotions. You do with your pigtails. What a nice creation. With another night in jail.
He looks exactly like Coop. Like, that dude is...
Yeah, specifically that Michael Showalter for sure.
Yeah, and I can also imagine Coop in the context of Wet Hot American Summer, like playing an incredibly touching song about diarrhea and dog fucking, and thinking that that's a way ultimately into the heart of one of his many love interests on the show.
Yeah, like I think because of all that, I definitely am down.
Yeah, I'm extremely down.
Do you think though? Like, do you think this guy is going for a dashboard vibe, or?
Yeah, it's like a dashboard, but I don't know. I can't. I mean,
or is it more like trad folk, like some of the other folk covers we've played and enjoyed?
Yeah, because it feels like it has more of an almost like Bell and Sebastian-y vibe. Now, keep in mind, I literally don't own any Bell and Sebastian records, but a song came on a playlist I was listening to earlier because it's rainy in Toronto, and I was like, this sounds like that. So,
sorry. You put on a playlist because it's rainy?
Well, I'm saying I put on a playlist that Bell and Sebastian ended
was it
up
called
being on.
like Sam's blanket song?
Yeah, it was called like
cold.
Pumpkin Spice playlist or whatever. Sam's blanket songs. No, like, just to be real, I was listening to a lot. Like, I listened to too much Crooked Fingers, and I couldn't listen to any more Crooked Fingers. So then I just put on like Crooked Fingers radio, and it had a lot of Bell and Sebastian on it. So.
And did you realize that they're sick?
No, I didn't have that realization.
All right, I see you've done your research this week. There's more than one cover.
I know. Well, I'm trying, man. I just can't keep up with you, and so I don't even really try. But this cover I love because I'm a big Adam and His Package fan. I feel like we've talked a lot on this podcast about Adam and His Package, and this is like an extremely Adam and His Package cover. Even though most of the covers that guy did were all like Mountain Goat songs, and this is.
Well, I feel like Adam and His Package is sort of the proto version of just realizing that punk, or like being willing to admit that the punk scene is hilarious and openly laugh about it instead of doing it in secret or on a message board. Like, he was kind of like a lot of people's introduction to me. Like, yeah, everything is really stupid and funny.
Yeah, everything is dumb, but there's also like a level like you could still love punk and think that it's hilarious. And I
Exactly.
think, yeah, his worldview and the way that it was expressed, via all those incredible songs that I love so much. Yeah, totally like informs. I think maybe the way you and I both kind of like look at this stupid shit now.
Probably. So this person's name is Damhor.
Oh,
Damor?
yeah,
Damhor.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is problematic, but yeah, Damor. I'm gonna call it Damor.
Damn whore.
Yeah, it's like you said it like it was a Norm Macdonald bit. So this next cover is from Damn Whore.
Okay, let's hear it.
Got a lot of hurt it's a fucking reason. This is me my man is want to make a deal, cause I love you with emotion.
Okay, so it doesn't like quite deliver.
That was so disorienting again. I like that he spent so much time perfectly mimicking Travis Barker's complex drumming, and then those vocals sound like he's trying not to wake up his roommates while he's singing them.
I mean, that's probably exactly what happened, right? He wrote all of that on headphones, and then by the time he was done, it was like
He's like, fuck.
4 a.m. He's like,
I mean, I think I like it. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, to me, the drums get too extreme, and then the vocals don't deliver. But off the top, it's like my favorite thing in the world. It basically sounds exactly like I'm downright amazed by what I can destroy with just a hammer, which is a great Adam and His Package song. Just, I need to go back briefly to something because I'm worried it won't come up otherwise. I don't know if you saw this, but, Adam's Package, again, they have a record where there's like 3 or 4 Mountain Goats covers on it. And for myself, and I think a lot of people, it was a gateway into discovering the Mountain Goats, who are an insanely great band. And there's a new podcast.
Not a fan. Not really a fan, by the way. Of the Mountain Goats.
That's fine. So you would not enjoy this new podcast that is song by song going through the Mountain Goats catalog.
Oh shit! They stole our idea.
They jacked our shit, but did it with a much more critically acclaimed, like literary band.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah, it's also the guy who the guy who created Welcome to Night Vale. So it's like podcast nerd shit.
Oh yeah.
So we're
Well,
like
I
the
hate
bad
nerds.
boys of as discussed. Yeah,
I only like cool people.
yeah. That's why you have a Blink-182 podcast. And so the only other cover that I had was like kind of like a chiptune-y thing. We could listen to it or we could not. It depends on how much weird.
I have some ones that I'd like to get to.
Okay, so let's do those because the chiptune one's fine.
Well, this one is like sort of a warm up on my end too, but I think it's sort of along the lines of what we just listened to, where it's like so elaborately triggered with the drums, but. Yeah, this person I think has only used like GarageBand presets, so it sounds really funny.
Okay,
like
cool.
It's it's like a GarageBand cover. And if I'm reading this correctly, yep, 4 views. This has 4 views. So let's hear Mr. Phantom 95's cover and give him a 5th.
Okay.
That almost sounded more Adam and His Package to me.
Yeah, it kind of did. Like, is that just like a synth or whatever doing the vocal lead?
Maybe.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, I'm with it, man. I hope it gets 5 more views.
Exactly. Yeah, at least. So there's that one, and then, what am I gonna do? I have just 2 more. Okay, I'm gonna end with. Okay, first of all, sorry, I'm just thinking out loud here. No one's listening to this podcast. Doesn't matter. My words and thoughts don't matter.
This is just a private recording for you and I to enjoy. It's true.
We talk a lot about music writing and how it's dumb and how the words are kind of interchangeable. It's easy to bullshit. But one area, actually my first ever music writing job was my first ever paid music writing job was for the electronic magazine Accelerator, which is gone now.
Yeah,
and
R.I.P.
I totally just bullshitted my way into there because I feel like a true absolute poser when it comes to electronic music. And like the subgenres are terrifying and confusing. And I just feel like that's an area where I feel like I need to tread lightly. So someone has uploaded what they call a techno style Dysentery Gary cover.
Okay.
But I just feel like I don't necessarily want to say that it's techno because I don't want I feel like maybe the BPM is wrong or
Yeah, it's
there's all these rules.
Yeah.
I don't want I already was in Berlin and next time I go I'll definitely not get into Berghain if they hear me talking about this and saying, "Yeah, this is techno." So
yeah, this is Gabber.
Yeah, exactly. There's all these things where I just feel so ashamed to use the words wrong. So according to YouTube user RC Tycho, this is techno style, but I don't know. We'll let the real heads in turtlenecks decide.
Okay. If you own a lot of Richie Houghton records, get at us on this.
Or if you are Richie Houghton.
Richie Houghton is a friend of the pod.
Okay, here we go.
That's not techno.
It's definitely not techno, but I love it.
Yeah, just because it's not techno doesn't mean it's not good. It's not like techno is the only music that I like.
Well, that is actually a little bit true of me, but
It's true.
Techno is really good. It's so exclusive and pretentious and mean and cold that it is really the only relevant music of our time right now. But that's not techno.
But that is not part of that movement. Yeah, I love
But
it.
I liked it. It was really fun. It was very
It reminds me of the Venga Boys.
Yeah, totally. I know, and I love that.
Oh, dude, I owned that first Venga Boys record with the Venga Bus and Venga and Venga All Night, Venga Forever. That's kind of what they were all called, right?
Yeah. Well,
we like
actually,
to party. Oh.
Up until I moved this time, I'm sorry to admit, I could have sent this to you had I known, but I had a 8x10 promo photo of Venga Boys from that album.
Tight.
But I threw it out because I was like, I don't know.
See,
I need to simplify my life a little bit.
I worked at Music World at Sherway Gardens, which is the Etobicoke Mall, for about 3 weeks once in high school, kind of around Christmas, and I hated it and I quit. But one of the only things I got sort of from that experience was a poster of the Venga Boys from not that record, but the record after it, unfortunately. But I put it up in my bedroom. So my bedroom at home had an extremely, high school, exactly what you would imagine, wall where it was Army of Darkness poster, fucking Blink poster from this era, that logo. And then a Venga Boys poster, which was truly my favorite.
That's sick.
It was so sick.
Okay, my final cover.
Yes.
I saved the best for last. So this is an acoustic cover, but it's one thing I love and makes me want to start watching guitar videos is this trend of emo kids getting really into John Fahey and getting into finger style guitar, open picking kind of weird guitar playing stuff. So this guy Dave Lospinoso has uploaded a solo finger style guitar cover of Dysentery Gary, and it's pretty sick.
Okay.
Here we go. You get the idea.
See, that reminds me of pretending to like Owen when I was in university.
Yeah.
Where, like, I went to a lot of Owen shows, man, and, like, I cannot tell you the name of an Owen song. I couldn't sing you, like, an Owen melody. And, like, I've spent hours of my life experiencing, you know, that music. So, no.
Well, the thing...
I'm not down, because to me it's
Okay,
triggering. It's a reminder of, like, a time when I was a bigger poser.
To me, I think anything Kinsella Brothers is insufferable except for the guitars. Like, as long as there's no singing or like dumb poetry or like whatever the fuck they're trying to do with Joan of Arc, and it's just the guitar parts, then I love it. 'Cause it's like the kind of noodling that I could watch and listen to forever. But then as soon as you add in like some other bullshit, then I usually get tired of it pretty quickly.
I definitely thought I liked Joan of Arc, and I still own at least one Joan of Arc record, but I have not gone back to it, and I suspect I might have a reaction, you know, that was disappointing. So I'm just not going to do it. But I mean, American football is still insanely the fucking best.
Okay, well, I am down, but only because it's gotten rid of the other parts of Kinsella that I don't like, and just that sweet wanky noodling.
Yeah, but
I love.
There's no Kinsella yelping on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Tight. Okay, so final thoughts on Dysentery, Gary. Are we there? Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
So,
I usually go first, unless you want to go first.
No, please.
Well, I didn't have one ready to go.
Yeah, I don't really have a thought.
To go.
I just think it's a great song for friends to enjoy together. And honestly,
I think it's important to be like everybody poops, you know, and it's important to not shame each other for that, and to just really support each other no matter what your stool looks like.
I think that's an important message to glean from this, and I want to say I agree with what you're saying. At the same time, if you poop and I lose your jeans, I won't apologize for it, and that's what I get from this song.
Because you sold them on the black market.
Yeah, the black market summer camp jean market. Your jeans are mine. And now,
okay, well,
yeah, this is a first for the pod.
Silence. that was the first silence we've ever had.
There's never been silence
before. Also, so we've, rather than have a guest for the whole episode, we have decided to just reach out to friends or acquaintances or maybe even enemies one day.
I hope so.
To get another opinion in here, so that it's not just this insular cross Canada circle jerk that we've been maintaining.
Yeah, and also to get more people to, like, new people to listen to the podcast. It's not just like
you don't say that part out loud.
Oh,
though.
right.
I mean.
Sorry. Yeah, it's just because like we're so magnanimous, we want to make sure different voices are heard.
Yeah, exactly. Not so that they tweet about it. And
no,
then more people.
I would hate that.
So, in a very pop punk turn of events, my friend Mich Way, the singer of the band White Lung, she was available to talk while White Lung is currently on tour with Rise Against and Pierce the Veil.
Oh, I didn't realize how pop punk this chat that you had was.
Yeah. So she was taking a break from tour with those bands who she just pretty much said are really nice and they're having fun. She didn't really like give me any pop punk juice or anything about that. But yeah, I mean, they're like literally doing like an arena pop punk tour. Like they've arrived.
Wow. So obviously this song has a lot of relevance for her because it can teach her how to be a big arena pop punk band.
Exactly. So I spoke to Mish. Unfortunately, a caveat is that I spoke to her. I think she was talking into her laptop with not into a mic, and also the freeware Skype recorder that I got is not ideal.
No, and I think,
so,
yeah, when you listen to this, I think you should make sure listeners of the pod appreciate, like, it's obvious that Josiah does a lot more work than me in preparing for these episodes, and you probably think, damn, Sam's not really pulling his weight. I wish this podcast was just Josiah monologuing for 90 minutes about Dysentery Gary. But if it was that, it would sound like what you're about to hear right now.
And the sound quality leaves much to be You'll really appreciate the high quality uncompressed sounds you're hearing right now in a few minutes.
Yeah. So enjoy this
until
moment.
next week. Yeah. Until next week. Here's some much worse quality audio of me talking to Mish Way from White Lawn. Well, first of all, what are you eating right now?
Sorry.
No, it's great.
I'm eating a burrito bowl.
Perfect.
I'm really hungry.
That's perfect. Well, okay, so you listened to the song, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I don't have any, like, real agenda for this, but what did you think?
Well, let me pull up the lyrics again. And that's the best part. Well, I listened to the song. First of all, like, the song is so annoying. But then I read the lyrics. Hold on, let me just get them here so I can actually see. And I was laughing. I remember when I read the lyrics. I think I texted you.
Yeah.
What's the first name of this song?
Dysentery, like DYS.
Dysentery.
Which I think is some sort of, like, diarrhea problem.
Dysentery, Gary, right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he says diarrhea. How can someone be a diarrhea giver?
I don't know.
Like, they cook you stuff that makes you have diarrhea? Is that what it is?
It must be.
It's funny because we went on, like, I didn't know about how bad things got with that Sum 41 guy and when he ended up in the hospital and everything.
Yeah.
And so I was reading all about that in the van, and I mean, it's not funny, but it's kind of insane.
Right.
I was going on a pop punk. Yeah, okay, so this is what I think of the lyrics. This guy's just mad because this guy stole his girlfriend. So this whole thing is just him being a baby. It's a tantrum, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's just being bitchy.
Well, I mean...
He's being a bitch.
Yeah. Along those lines, at the very end of the song, he says, "Where's my dog? Because girls are such a drag." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the catalog that well, but it seems like he usually is wanting to fuck a dog.
Really?
Yeah, like he brings it up a lot, so...
Oh my god. I like that even better. Yeah, I mean, it just felt like to me, this is the thing. If you're gonna write a song like this and you really hate someone, you're gonna write a hate song. This is so obvious, you know. You want to do it with a little bit of dignity and make it kind of not obvious, you know.
Right.
But maybe he does want this guy to know. Ew, and I don't like how he talks about pigtails. That part's gross. With your mom, life just sucks. Yeah, well, life sucks. Big deal. It didn't work out with this girl. Who cares? Like, you're rich and married, so be quiet. Like, what year did he write this song?
This is from, let's see here. I would say...
Oh, 99, so they're already popular. He's like stinking rich.
I don't think he was married yet. 99, because he's born in 75, so he was 24 when he wrote this, or when he released it.
Are they super popular then?
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Okay, then wham. You can have sex with whoever you want, pop punk groupie or whatever. Yeah, I want to know who this Gary guy is. I guess I'm also, how did he steal the girlfriend?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but also you're right. Like, what does it mean to be a diarrhea giver? Like, is that like, can you get diarrhea from having too much anal sex with someone or something?
Ooh, that could be it. My mind went PC or PG.
PG.
You went gross.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, I think that's probably what it means. Or that he just makes her gross meals. Diarrhea. It's so disgusting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that he admits that he's just being a baby and he's like, life just sucks. I lost the one. I'm giving up. She found someone. But he realizes there's Girls are such a drag. Yeah, well, that's the way it is, buddy. I mean, boys are a drag too. And the fact that you said girls shows that you're 24 and not mature.
Right.
And then you're dating girls. This place. I mean, it's total. It's like teen angsty, sad. It's a bit. He's being a bitch. That's all.
Like, how old is too old to be writing a teen angst sort of song like this? Do you think?
21.
Okay, so he's past the due date. What about the part where he says, the part about the pigtails, he says it's worth another night in jail? Like, is she underage?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming, that she's younger than him.
I mean, do you think that someone could get away with writing these lyrics in 2017?
Oh, yeah, maybe not. Well, not if they were a huge band.
Right.
Have you ever heard this song Kenny showed us by The Horror or something? Oh, shit, The Horrorist.
No.
This song,
Okay.
when later, look up The Horrorist One Night in New York City.
Okay.
And listen to it. And it was you're gonna die. It was like a #1 club hit in Germany when it first came out. And it's like, I think it got banned here. But anyways, you'll listen to that, and then you'll really understand the inappropriate lyrics. I don't know. I don't think that you could. You can always get away with this stuff. It just depends on how famous you are. And I also think that people are so stupid now that they don't even listen to lyrics or care. They're just melting along and about it. So you probably could. But there might be a few, like, feminazis that would see this and get mad.
Right.
And be like, nah. But it's also like, it's your expression. If you want to, it ultimately makes, if he's actually writing from himself and this is really his point of view, then it ultimately just makes him look stupid. So I don't see what the big deal is. It's like, you're just making yourself look like a pervert and a dog fucker and a bitch. So
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, well, my last question for you is just, outside of the lyrics, you said that it was annoying, and I just want you to expand on that a little bit.
it's too, I don't really like his voice.
Yeah.
Just for me, it's a bit too, like, it's aggressive in the ways I don't want it to be aggressive. It's too, like, whiny or something. I don't know. I'm not, like, the biggest pop punk fan.
Right. Well, but we do have a shared love of, like, Avril Lavigne, who is, like, the queen of pop punk.
Yeah, well, that's different. Maybe I only like it when girls do pop punk. No, I don't know. Yeah, Avril is a queen, because pop punk is kind of whiny and bitchy, and it's really like, that's what it feels like to me. Even like the way the chords are and the progression and everything is very like, it feels like you're on a playground screaming at someone.
Right.
It feels like a tantrum a lot of the times, and I think maybe I just prefer someone going, hell yeah, I'm the motherfucking princess, over talking about wanting to have sex with a dog.
I always thought it was Diarrhea Gambler, like he was taking a risk, like he was about to have diarrhea. He was still going.
I like that way better.
It's so much better, Diarrhea Gambler. Oh well.
We need to get to the bottom of that lyric. Why that lyric is there?
Yeah, well, me and Sam are gonna do like, you realize our podcast is almost 2 hours long, so this is just one small segment for it.
Why are you gonna interview the guys from this band?
Eventually we will, but we're doing one song a week, so it's like I'm gonna spend all day like reading shit about this song.
Can you ask if you get to interview him? Can you ask him about the diarrhea giver thing, so we can get to the bottom of it from the horse's mouth?
Absolutely.
I think we kind of need to.
Yeah, I mean, you're in on it too. Like you're not gonna get sleep until you know.
No, I'm not. It's crazy. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, this is exactly what I wanted.
Good. Well, I'm glad it worked out.